Well, hello there, Leeds United fans. I hope you're all doing fantastically well. It's Connor here. We are back with another video. If you want to head on over to the Patreon, there is a bit of an incentive. I have to say, we are giving away some free merch to any one of the Patreon members. All you have to do is comment on the Patreon your favorite Leeds United memory and like the recent video. And that's it. That's it. A narrower pool of people, about 220 members that we've got over there now. If you want to become a member, link in the description below. All proceeds go to supporting the channel. We've got bonus bits on there. We're going to have Euro bits on there as well. So head on over there, everybody. It's definitely well worth it. And we are going to start doing more merchandise bits as well. So make sure you do that. So today, I wanted to laugh at Manchester United. There we go. Wanted to laugh at those guys because apparently they're lining up to put a bid in for not only Crysencio Summerville, but they're looking at Archie Gray as well. Yes, Ten Hag apparently at the helm and potentially given another year to prove his worth by Ineos is looking at Crysencio Summerville as potentially Jadon Sancho leaves Old Trafford. Now, not only that, but apparently they're looking at Archie Gray as well, and they're willing to go up to 35 million for Archie Gray. And God, isn't this interesting? Because there's Manchester United fans saying online that he's a central defensive midfielder as well, and that's his primary role. Now, it just shows that many football fans don't actually watch football, and when you see sort of like football hipsters saying that there's a young player who's reasonably press resistant, and then they put a couple of YouTube compilations up, they then think that these players are the best in the world and going to become future captain. Now, I don't think future England captain. Now, I don't think that this is something that can't be on Archie's shoulders in 10, 15 years' time or 10 years' time. Who knows the levels of which he can go to? But it does make me laugh with these top six morons, especially when it comes to the dark side of Manchester, how they just believe they have just this almost like authoritarian approach where they can just come in, pinch a player, and there's going to be no resistance whatsoever. Well, as they saw with Calvin Phillips when there was mass interest there, he didn't want to go. Why? Because of the connection he has with Leeds United and because we all think they are scum. And that's that, really. So the rivalry is completely intense, especially from Leeds United's side. And Archie's grown up absolutely riddled with Leeds United and riddled into a Leeds United family who will not be favours, will not favour Manchester United and that red side of Manchester. I can tell you that for a fact. So Eddie, Andy, Archie, and co, and Harry and stuff like that will all be very much in the Leeds United universe. And I think, as you saw with Jude Bellingham when he stayed an extra year at Dortmund, you do see the progression come to the fore again. And I believe now with the Red Bull investment, 60 million quid in the first year, there is going to be a little bit more financial ability to keep hold of Archie Gray. But the idea that for Manchester United fans, they can just come in and take Archie Gray, exactly like they did with Calvin Phillips. Guys, you're not that club anymore, for a starter. Yeah, they're one of the biggest clubs in the world, but there is a thing called loyalty. And I think we saw with Calvin Phillips in particular, we saw the lad from Rothwell in 2000, 2002 or whatever it was, 2002, 2003, betray the club and leave for the dark side. But there's a lot of, things to do with that. They were the only club putting money up, and Leeds were in an absolute horrendous financial state. I think some Manchester United fans still think that we are almost that Leeds. We are not now. We have massive backers behind us. We don't need to sell. Archie Gray is a homegrown player, so it's always going to look good against PSR. But right now, our financial position is very, very strong. We owe 33.7 million quid back by the 24th of June. That is easily achievable by Leeds United. They can accrue that money from many different instances now. We're not forced to sell Archie Gray whatsoever. That's not going to happen, in my personal opinion, and from what I've been told the club wants to do. So it just makes me laugh. And I think we've always got to talk about Manchester United because it is kind of funny when they just think they can bully boy tactics on other clubs, and they're not really that club anymore. And I think loyalty, as we saw with Calvin, I think it's going to be absolutely, as I mentioned, riddled within the Gray family. And I think they would advise him to stay at Leeds United. And if he was to move on, he's got better clubs, much better clubs to go at. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But yeah, that just made me laugh this morning. A defensive midfielder we can get for 35 million max. Oh, it's just funny, isn't it? So get your thoughts in on that, everybody. What's your valuation of Archie Gray? And obviously the Summerville rumours, they've sort of intensified as we speak. And obviously the reason behind that is because we've got a new front runner. Liverpool have, according to the Mirror and a couple of other sources today, have effectively ruled themselves out of the race with Chelsea. They don't really want to compete when it comes to the money that Chelsea are looking at putting up for Summerville, which is 30+ million. Obviously, Man United do love throwing the cash around. Could that be something there? I think Summerville has the pick of top clubs, real top clubs, and I think it could probably go higher than Manchester United in terms of who has been looking at him. We've heard Bayern Munich, we've heard obviously Dortmund again, who seem to be involved, in for a lot of Leeds United's players during this window, and obviously Liverpool and Chelsea. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting because obviously Summerville, if he was to join Chelsea, I was mentioning yesterday that with Gilchrist, who Leeds are interested in the right back, if we had to build a really good relation with Chelsea, then that gives us a little bit of sustenance there as well with loan players. They've got Armando Broja, Gilchrist, they've got many others down there who are available and probably will be likely available for loan this summer, which Leeds United can definitely exploit with building a good relationship. And Chelsea have got a hell of a lot of good youngsters still. So I think that's where I'm looking at it when it comes to the development of the brand in that sense. And it'd be interesting to see if Bowley's got almost a relationship with Parag and the Niners and even with representatives at Red Bull as well and other people on the board of Leeds United. The Enterprises obviously deals with multiple investors. So one of them you would expect in that American verse will have some sort of relationship with Todd Bowley. So it's going to be fascinating to see how this one develops. It's going to be fascinating to see who Leeds go for in return. I've mentioned Johnny Rowe a couple of times, who is going to be available. 1 year left on his deal. Johnny Rowe, not on a high wage whatsoever. Only really broke into the first team this season, and he's had a really good season. Obviously, he was in there, the starting 11, I should say. He was in there, in the Premier League for Norwich, but he's not really fully put himself on the billboard with which he's done this year. And cutting in off that side, I think it'd be a lovely replacement. But it looks like Leeds are on the way right now, and they are looking at multiple players, which I think is really exciting. I think it's exciting, and let's hope when June 10th comes around, which is in 9 days, and even before that, Jordan Miles and co have got players lined up. I think from what I know, they will not make the mistakes of previous years where there are leaks and so agents here and they put prices up and they put their structure up. They make it a little bit more rigorous and then other clubs get involved. And I know that for a fact. They were really annoyed that Joel Peru got out back in sort of like, a year ago, negotiating with Joel Peru, and then suddenly that gets leaked, and out of nowhere you've got Leicester and Southampton both looking at him. So I don't think we're going to hear that much. But if I hear anything, guys, I will 100% let you know a little bit earlier. That I'm quite lucky to have the odd one there, the odd ITK person, which is good. So, but yeah, we're going to be discussing the rumours. Do you think Gilchrist would be a good signing? Broja will be an interesting one as well. We're speaking about Daniel Jefferson this morning. Make sure you check out that video, everybody. Well worth it. And listen, head on over to the Patreon. But most of all, everybody, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you're enjoying the content. I'll see you on the other side. Cheers.